Then you have to go into what we call the hours building phase, where whatever you taught the student until now has been accompanied by an instructor of some sort. So the student wasn't actually on board flying on his own. But this 90 hours of flying phase has to include solo flights. So the student pilot has to go out there and navigate around his airport, the nearby airports or the nearby cities on his own, just to build up confidence. You know, coming towards the end of his training, coming towards the more serious stuff later on before completion. So once he builds up hours, in actual fact this is building up confidence, in essence. And once he completes this, he then goes into a short 5 hours of night rating training, where he will be taught how to fly at night conditions. Then he will move on to the commercial pilot's license phase, where he will get 25 hours of training on board an aircraft again. And then go into the more serious stuff, the instrument rating stuff, which we've been doing in the simulator with you, flying from Stansted to Ercan. So that fundamentally means integrating the multi-engine part of the training with the instrument rating, so that the student can now navigate in a multi-engine aircraft using the flight instruments alone. Okay, so that comes to something like a bit more than 200 hours in total. And in total you would have passed 14 plus 9 exams to convince the authorities.
So that's 85 weeks.
Yeah. So considering we have 52 weeks in a year. One thing to note will be the fact that you will have mishaps in between. You will have problems, you will have discrepancies. In my case, when I was becoming a pilot, our flying school was in Croatia. I don't know if I told you this before, but because of the transition between the then current position of Croatia and their ambition to join the EU, resulted in the fact that all the German instructors lost their work permits in Croatia. So our training was halted. And what then they asked us to do was to travel to Austria, where they set up a temporary flight school. And then you do have some bits and bobs like this which kind of ruins things for you. So it might take slightly longer. It won't take any shorter, but it will take longer.
Yeah.
At the best of times.
U555, this is Cyprus 2548, waiting takeoff discussion.
Right. Okay, let's start the engines. Can you advance the throttles, please, Chris, just to see if the engines are working? Yep, all the way forward.
555.
Great. Right, so I'm going to release you soon. So just to remind ourselves, Chris, we will use the rudder pedals. Just slide them first, briefly. You will use them to maintain your directional control on the runway. And then at about 75 knots, remember, I will remind you, 75 knots, you will be asked to rotate and you will put it towards about 10 degrees. Right? So, ready, steady, go. Airspeed alive. Slightly to the left. Slightly to the body to the left. Great. You see your making direction. And rotate. Great. Up to 10 degrees. That's it. No more. No more. Great. Great stuff. And you can already just put the autopilot on, and then you can just pretend your hands are on the just you can still rest your hands on the controls just to make it appear that you're flying. And if you want to just use the thumb wheel to climb up, so spin it down, please, and press it with BS. Great. Great stuff. So now we're climbing away from London Stansted using the Detling 1 departure. Normally this is not what we'll be doing, but I'm just talking for the camera. They don't pick up no noise with it. You kind of feel a bond between the simulator by now, don't you? You kind of feel attached to it in some form or another. Good thing about it is, you know, if you switch to one time and just go down. I like the view down.
Tell you what I'd also like to be able to do at some point, fly over where I used to live, because I lived about 8 miles from here.
Oh, you mean in Cairns, yeah? Oh, in London?
In London. I lived in Onger in Essex, just south of Stansted.
Yeah, we can do it, but I don't think we'll have the graphics to depict the actual scenery.
We used to sit in a garden, watch the planes go down every day.
Do you know when London Stansted started project?
I can remember as a child going with my mother and father.
Yeah.
Or you've been told, Chris. No worries, a couple of more lights is good for the camera. Don't worry, it's fine, it's fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't a military airfield, was it?
But it was in World War II. It was the 8th Bomber Group based there, US Air Force. And I remember going there as a child with my mother and father. We used to watch the comet coming in and taking off.
Touching goes.
Yeah, touching goes. And they used to have traffic lights to prevent you from going through. And I can also remember in later years going to Stansted when long before when the old terminal was still being used, and I would literally drive up at lunchtime and park my car outside the front door, walk in, go to the convenience, sit down, have a roll and a coffee, come out, get back in my car and drive off. You couldn't do it now.
No, impossible. With all the tight security measures.
Oh my god, yeah. Those were the wonderful days.
Yeah. So now I think we've got some recording. We want to take a couple more shots. So let's see how we can do them. Let me just ask you guys. Nasıl çekecek onu? Nasıl olayına? Telefonuna? And one hand on the yoke. So off you go.
Okay, here we go.
Şeyler, gidiyor çünkü. Başka biraz fazla şey yapmaya başladı. Tamam, çok sağ olasın. Hadi bakalım. So, tamam. So Chris, I think we're going a bit low, so you want to pull up. Because you can hardly ever see the runway now. And you see the puppy lights on the right and left, they're all red. What do you think about our height? I think we're a bit shallow, aren't we? Still heading in the right way, so that's good. And the ladder can still
Only get those white lights on.
well, you can only do that by maintaining your altitude or climbing. Because you're still descending, and it's not it's not going to turn into white unless you climb or maintain your altitude. It's coming towards where it shouldn't do actually. So because you pitched the nose up a bit, you have to advance the throttles forward, not backward. Otherwise we'll stall before the runway. He's overdoing the control.
You're overdoing it.
It's just to get the landing on the camera. It is recording just a bit more stress to the person.
It's quite delicate.
Yeah.
We're almost there. The last time I retarded the photos for you, but I let you do it this time yourself.
What have you gone into level?
Throttles to the back. That's it. And now your rudders, please. The yoke won't help you, the rudder.
Over to the left.
It's really hard to push it.
Yeah, they say flying is difficult.
There you go. Now I've got hang on the brakes.
The brakes are with your toes.
Yeah, that's right.
And I got one.
Brake to turn it.
Ah,
Now it's swinging.
it's the bottom part of the rudder pedal you have to press to get the direction. So try your rudder now before you have to turn. So you don't have to touch the throttles anymore because that's pretty much the speed you want. You can already start turning, right?
Right, on the line.
Yeah, yeah. Almost there. A bit more throttle, a tad more your power with you. Unfortunately, we've just had a call from my cousin's, what you call it?
Right.
I always have the freeze button here to help you with that. That's it.
When you press one brake, the other pedal moves as well, in the opposite direction. Quite good.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for visiting us again.